Hey guys, what is going on? I am here today for we're doing a first appearance challenge and we're working specifically with villains. Now, I was tagged for this challenge by Pocan Joe. Make sure you check him out. If you're not subscribed to him, I'll have his link in the description below. I'm also going to um, tag. So I was tagged by Pocan Joe. I am going to tag three folks as well. I'm going to go with TyloxTheMighty. You will see his links to his channel below. I'm also going to tag Brian LCS, and I'm also going to tag Digger Jim. So I think I'll make sure all these folks know. I'll post it on Instagram and make sure they all know that, hey, you got some homework this weekend. So I was super excited about it. Pocan Joe did a great, his was like super obscure villains. So I can't match that, but I'm going to try to pull some obscure stuff out of my hat and see what we can come up with. So I've got an honorable mention. I'm going to do an honorable mention here. And this is the reason this is an honorable mention. This is a character that I like. I think it would be a cool character. Now, I haven't seen anything to lead me to believe that they might use this character at any point, other than I just think there's this character started out as a villain, started out as an antagonist, and has evolved over time. She's become, a lot more than what she originally started out. But I'm going with X Factor. This is my honorable mention. And the reason I didn't include her in the list is ultimately she went on to work in Sword. So she's more of she's had a, had a change of heart, and she's a little more of a hero type character now. But X Factor number 4, and I'm going with Frenzy. First appearance of Frenzy. She was strong enough to beat X Factor back in issue number 4. And obviously, this is a book. I'm like, if they ever, she obviously fought X Factor. She's fought She-Hulk. She was an antagonist for She-Hulk. And then she's been in Sword. So she's been around for a long time. So I always see this book for cheap. So I just can't stop buying it. But I just picked up 2 copies at Heroes Con this weekend for 50 cents a piece. I'm like, I'm not, if you keep selling them to me for 50 cents, I'm not going to stop buying them, but, I've got 8 copies here and 5 of them are newsstand. So yeah, it's a character. I'm like, hey, if it ever hits, man, I'll just, what the heck, I'll just retire early. So that's my, didn't quite make the list, but this will be my honorable mention is Frenzy. So up next, so this would be number 10 on my list. I'm going with the Invincible Iron Man number 166. And this is first Obadiah Stane. So one of Iron Man's major villains, especially in those earlier MCU movies. He's been around for a while. And the connection now, as we get into like Riri and the younger characters, there's some speculation that his son Ezekiel Stane, who has also fought Iron Man and after his father passed away, Ezekiel Stane is an adversary as well. So that would be another one to keep an eye out on. So I'm gonna get obscure too. I'm not like Pocan Joe's pulling out the Fisherman as a villain for Aquaman, and I don't have any fisherman types. However, I did a little deep dive on some Daredevil stuff, and I found that Daredevil has some really weird characters. This would be, I guess, more of a street level character, really not any powers per se, but I'm going to go with Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, number 124. So this would be number 9 on my list. I'm going with Copperhead. So there you see Copperhead right there. And he's just, I think I want to be a villain. Let me put on a trench coat and a hat and let's do some villainy. So Copperhead, that's number 9 on my list. Number 8. Yeah, all right. Number 8 on my list, I'm going with another obscure character. This one's a little, well, somewhat more recent, but this would have been probably, this book was probably in the late 80s, early 90s. I'm going to go with Captain America number 272. And in this book, you get the first appearance of Vermin. So Vermin has ties to Craven, and in that wonderfully written arc, Craven's Last Hunt, Vermin is involved in that story arc. So he's an interesting character, and that would be somebody cool to like see pop up at some point. If you can get this, these are like books you can kind of get on the cheap, and you never know. Well, it's just a cool book to have. There are ties and characters who have been around for a while. It's a good one to pick up. So I'm on number 7 now. Number 7 on my list. This one for some reason caught a little bit of a buzz a month or two ago, but I'm going to go with Ghost Rider number 75. First appearance of Steelwind. You can see she's like, leather clad biker babe, taking on Ghost Rider. And, for some reason, this one caught some heat. It didn't get crazy, but it did catch some heat. It went from, a 50-cent dollar bin book to, $10 or so. So we are on 6 now. Yeah, number 6, going back to Daredevil. The color on this book, I'm really digging it. It really looks amazing. I'm going back with Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, at number 91. And that is the first appearance. I think this may be the second Mr. Fear. There's been a few Mr. Fears, but this one I like a lot, and I just love that color. And look how that cover, and look how much that color pops on that cover. It looks great. I was joking in one of our live stream recaps the other night. Is like, maybe it's the lead and the paint that makes these colors pop so much, but it is spectacular. So, all right, that's number 6. On to number 5. Yeah, number 5 here. This is a character I really hope they bring. Now I'm really getting into some stuff here, but this is a character that I think would be super cool. He's got ties to both Ghost Rider and Blade, so there is some, maybe some semi legs. And I chose it just because it's this was a cheap first appearance, and connection to those characters. We know they're getting, we're starting to get more horror related stuff. So with this one, I am going with Ghost Rider Annual number 1. And this is the first appearance of Night Terror. Ghost Rider Annual number 1. And here, let me show you. So this one's still bagged and boarded. They came that way. Let me see if we can get a glimpse at why it was bagged and boarded. Yeah, okay. So first appearance of Night Terror. So he's a vampire who's also like a for hire mercenary type. And I'm like, wow, that's a nice little twist. He doesn't just need to he's not out just hunting blood. He's out trying to dim these just a smidge, and this one just a smidge there. I don't know if that did anything, but I felt like I was heating. I felt like a rotisserie chicken. So Night Terror, a vampire who's a mercenary, a for hire killer. And I said, that's an interesting twist. He doesn't need to just go hunting for blood. He's got, he's going to use his powers to make a make some cash. So I really like he's fought both Ghost Rider and Blade. So Night Terror. Now the reason this one's polybag, this is from this book's from 93, but you get the Night Terror card in the polybag version. So it says at the top 1993 annuals. It's a silver metallic border card, and you get Night Terror right there. The focus is a little wonky, but yeah, you get a card inside the bagged book. So this really is one that I'm like, God, that would be a cool. I think that would make for interesting episodes. If you did a show and Night Terror was your, one of your guys. I think that would make for an interesting show where he's being hired to hunt down Blade or hired to hunt down Ghost Rider. All right, so we are on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, number 4. Another obscure character that would be really fun if they introduced him on some level. I probably wouldn't recommend this costume for this character if if they do introduce him. But I'm going to go, we're dipping back into Daredevil here, folks. Daredevil number 42. And this is the first appearance of Jester. Again, another cool looking cover, a little 12 center there. First appearance of Jester. So yeah, I thought that book was neat. And I was like, well, that's about as obscure as Southpaw Brad can get. Pocan Joe, like I said, I'm going to link his channel in the bio and or in the description. I'm sorry, in the description. So you can go back and check out his video if you haven't seen it. All right, so we're on number 3, folks. We got this is our top 3 right here. This is another one. These top 5 are legitimately people I'm like, I'm buying these books because I just like the characters. And I think this character takes me back to a different time. And I'm going to show you that book as well, or forward to a different time. I didn't know much about this character until this other book came along, but I think this is a great book, man. And would be an excellent character to do in the movies, or it would have to be in the movies, I suppose. But Web of Spider-Man number 15, and we've got the first appearance of Chance. And he's like a tech guy, doesn't have superpowers per se, but he is just a relentless hunter and been one of Spider-Man's adversaries for a while. And so this book was like 86 or 87, I guess, 86 probably. But this, I saw this, and this book is cheap, man. It's really cheap, surprisingly. For somebody who was important enough, this book takes me back, but it reminds me, even though it's a later appearance, of this. And I was like, this cover I've always loved. And so, hey, what if they did that? What if they brought this guy? I mean, I don't know if they would do it for the movies, or maybe he's one of several villains who's after Spider-Man. But I really like Chance. You can get this. I'm buying these for like less than $3 a piece. So for that, I'll buy them and keep my fingers crossed and see if they pop up in a movie. But I just think that would be really cool. He's been an adversary and definitely reminds me of the Amazing Spider-Man 298 cover, which I bought at an LCS that's no longer around. Back when I was a kid, my mom used to drop me off. Well, no, I wasn't. No, this would have been later, I guess. It's the same LCS my mom used to drop me off at as a kid, and I went there for as long as they were open. And at some point, I picked this up from that place. This was a wall book there, and I picked it up because I just liked it. McFarlane art with Chance, and he used Chance a bit. So yeah, I'm excited about that one. Now this one, I traded some kid this book back when I was in grade school, and you'll say, Southpaw Brad, that thing is pretty beat up, but to me, well, this is number two on our list. Only got one left. We're going to go with X-Men number 14, first appearance of the Sentinels. Now, yes, it is heavily worn, and I was like, hey, the cover's falling off. I might better put some tape on it. I mean, I was literally in grade school when I traded some kid this book. So it is the first appearance of the Sentinels. There's chunks missing, but it's a part of my history, part of my childhood, because I don't know. Obviously, I had a good eye for books back when I was a kid because I traded some kid, and this would have been old when I got it. I mean, I wasn't. This was not like this came out. This wasn't sitting on the newsstand when I was going to my local convenience store. I mean, this was an old book when I traded somebody for it. But just a great book. And I'd like to say, any of you, well, it would be a stretch to say that I play guitar, but I dabble. I like to pick it up and mess around on the guitar. And it was interesting being a collector to hear that guitars that have buckle rash. So on the back of the guitar, when people are playing, their belt buckle scrapes the back of the guitar and it messes it up. And that's considered like a good thing in the guitar realm. So I'm going to this is the comic version of buckle rash. This is, it adds, that buckle rash adds character, and so does the tape and the chunks missing on this X-Men number 14, first appearance of the Sentinels. We'll just call that the buckle rash of comics. Last, I don't know if we'll ever see this character, but I do like the character, and this character's been around forever. I am, for my number one villain, first appearance is Kazar the Savage, number 11. First appearance of Belasco. Now, we haven't seen Mephisto yet, but is it possible we could see Belasco sometime? I don't know. But this is a great book, and it's for, I'm going to say it's probably $8 to $10, $6 to $10, under $10 depending on condition. But you could find a pretty good copy for less than $10. So Kazar the Savage, number 11, first appearance of Belasco. And that's number one on my list. So thank you again, Pocan Joe, for the tag. I appreciate it. I'm responding in earnest. Your tag was not in vain. Thanks for reaching out to me. Like I said, I'll mention in the description and let my folks know on Instagram. I am going to tag TyloxTheMighty, Brian LCS, and Digger Jim, and I look forward to see what those guys have to offer. And hey, until next time, I got some stuff to work on over here, so I'm working. I'll probably be doing a video to do some unboxing and share what I'm picking up, and so do join me for that. And but thanks again, and you guys have a fantastic Independence weekend, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.